Quick subscriber update before I get into the video. 9,365. Brilliant, brilliant. We're inching closer to 10,000 by Christmas, but we're not there yet. 635 short with, 22, 23 days to go. So I'm still hopeful, but if you haven't subscribed, please, could you help me try and get to 10,000 by Christmas? Right, onto the video. With Liverpool now firmly back on track. All right, I'm joking. Well, it's not. We've won one game, but it's a start and you've got to start somewhere. It's back to Anfield against newly promoted Sunderland. The problem is, after a third of the season, this newly promoted Sunderland are 2 places and 1 point above us in the table. They've only lost 3 league games this season compared to our 6, and we have to put this right by beating them. In fact, they've only scored 3 goals less than we have. But what's really impressive, especially for a newly promoted team, is that they've actually got one of the best defences in the Premier League this season. They've conceded 3 goals less than Manchester City, and they've only conceded 13 compared to our 20. And in terms of their current form, in the last 6 league games, they've won 3, drew 2 and lost 1. So they're no mugs at all. They've shown up as well in the big games. They drew 2-2 with Arsenal and they went to Chelsea and beat them 2-1. Now, as for us, that West Ham performance has to be the new baseline. I mean, surely we can't revert to type after the changes that were made and the performance that we got. It doesn't necessarily have to be the exact same 11, but it should be. There's no reason to change it. But as long as the balance and the structure is maintained, that is a key. I personally wouldn't change any of that 11 from the other day, because for the first time in many weeks, it worked a treat with balance and structure and passing lanes and everything else. But I could see him, for instance, changing Kerkers for Robbo, potentially changing Ekatike for Isaac. These are changes that would maintain the formation but not affect the structure. But I'll say it again, I don't think he should, and why should he? So on to a few more facts and stats. The last time Sunderland beat us in a league game was 13 years and 10 games ago in 2012. But they have actually managed 4 draws with us over that period of time. But let's talk about their away form, because this is an away game for them, obviously, and this makes for very interesting reading or listening. In their last away game, they lost 1-0 to Fulham. And I know how everyone is talking about their impressive form, etc., as they should, because they're 6th in the table right now. But I spoke to a Fulham fan who was at that game at Craven Cottage, and he said that Sunderland basically let Fulham have the ball for the entire game. They showed no ambition at all to have any possession and basically just dug in. That ended up with Fulham having 23 efforts on goal and 5 on target. Sunderland had 4 shots in the entire game, 2 on target. So if they're doing that at Craven Cottage, I'd be very surprised if they don't do exactly the same at Anfield. Another really important thing about their away results, they've only scored 3 away goals in 6 away games this season. They've conceded only 6, which is very good, but they've only scored 3. They currently have the 11th best away form in the division, because even with those 3 goals, they managed to get 2 wins out of them. But it's their shots on target that are really interesting. In their 6 away games this season, they've had, against Burnley, 1 shot on target and lost 2-0. These are all away games. Against Crystal Palace, 1 shot on target, drew 0-0. Against Forest, 3 shots on target, won 1-0. Against Man United, 3 shots on target, lost 2-0. Against Chelsea, 4 shots on target, won 2-1. And against Fulham, 2 shots on target, lost 1-0. So they've averaged less than 3 shots on target per game away from home so far this season. And in 4 of those games, Burnley, Crystal Palace, Man United and Fulham, they didn't score a single goal. They scored 1 against Forest and 2 against Chelsea, although the second one came with basically the last kick of the game. So away from home all season, they've really struggled to score or even create chances. Now, I know some people don't like this stat, and I don't really either, to be honest with you. But in this case, it does tell a bit of a story, so bear with me on it. Expected goals. Now, teams generally score somewhere close to their expected goals. As an example, ours is 21.1 and we've actually scored 20. But Sunderland's is 11.9 and they've scored 17. So they are far, far exceeding the amount of goals that they should have been expected to score. And as I said, only 3 of those 17 goals have been away from home. 14 of them have been in their own stadium. Just compare them to the other 2 promoted teams, Leeds and Burnley. Leeds have scored double the away goals that Sunderland have, and Burnley have scored more than 3 times the away goals than Sunderland have had, and both of them are behind them in the table. So I just wanted to give a comparison with them and the other 2 promoted teams. Now, I'm not saying this won't be a test, because everything at the moment is a big test for us, but it's at home where they've really excelled, not away from home where their chance creation and goal scoring numbers combined are the lowest in the entire division, lower than Wolves. Are you feeling any better yet? I must admit, when I delved into the numbers, I was more encouraged than I was before, and I'll take any encouragement right now. But which Liverpool will show up? The balanced, structured, well-organised version we saw against West Ham, or the unbalanced version we saw before? Surely, man of the match Wirtz is a must. Surely, Joe Gomez at right back is a must. For me, Szoboszlai in the same role as he had against West Ham should be a must, but I don't know if it will be. I don't know if Arne is just going to bring Mo Salah back into that right role. There's a very interesting stat. Dominic Szoboszlai, now I know he's played in multiple positions, but he is by far and away our number 1 in the team for making tackles with 25 this season. The next best is 19, and that's Konate. No one else is anywhere near him. The other midfielders are about 50% of what Szoboszlai has done. But you know who's second to last in the entire squad? Mo Salah with 2. And the only person behind him is YNWA, who's played only 1 half of football in total, and he has 1. And I think that is indicative of the difference that we saw on the right hand side with Dominic Szoboszlai there and what we saw with Mo Salah there. But we will have to wait and see what Arne does. I never thought I'd ever be saying this, but are you like me? Are you now more nervous about the team sheet than you are about the game? I'm like on tenterhooks every time I'm waiting for the team sheet to come out. But anyway, Arne simply has to win this game. He has to. 1 good win is only that. And the previous poor run still looms large and comes right back into focus if we don't win this game. And the best way for him to do that is not by repeating the mistakes of that poor run, but repeating what he got right against West Ham. So I wait for the team sheet with bated breath. But I'm going to say it. Given Sunderland's lack of threat in their away games this season and the fact that they barely register shots on target, and with our lads finally going into a game with confidence and with the wind in our sails rather than in our faces, I'm going for a comfortable Liverpool win. I'm going to go 2-0, and I hope I'm wrong, because I hope it's even more comfortable than that. You never know. We'll see. But come on, lads. We need it. Another win. We were only 4 points out of second before these midweek fixtures started. So another win gets us even closer to where we want to be, and that's up near the top of this division. I'll see you after the game. You'll never walk alone. Cheers. Ta-ra for now.